show you how you can crop your pictures. So if you haven't already, you're going to open up your photos. Now, if you want to open up all of them, you can open up all of them, but if you just want to open up a couple at a time, you can do that. So you're going to access them from your graphic design folder, Visual Alphabet. So I renamed them. If you want to know how to rename your files, you can review the previous video, which showed you how to rename them. So I'm just going to open up one. Okay, so this is the letter E. We're going to be cropping this a particular size. All of our pictures are going to be cropped the same size as far as the height, the width, and the resolution. The resolution is the number of pixels per inch. The higher the number of pixels per inch, the clearer the picture. So to do the crop, we are going to go to the crop tool, which is down below here. The shortcut's the letter C on your keyboard. Now, many of these tools share a button. So if you just happen to accidentally hit the C again, you're going to notice it jumps to, and I call them roommates. They both share this area right here, and they all share the button C. So if you push C, it alternates from the crop tool to the cookie cutter tool. Cookie cutter tool is another day. We'll revisit that. So we're going to stick to the crop tool. You know you're in the right tool because down below the blotter, you have the name of the tool that you're using. So we're going to go to no restriction over here. We're going to set the width for IN. You want to put the IN just in case, because sometimes it comes out to be pixels, and a 4 pixel image is going to be crazy small. So we're doing 4 inches, 5 inches. Do IN, that's completely fine. The computer knows what you're doing. And the resolution is going to be 300 pixels per inch. You're going to notice this changes to custom. That's completely fine. So what you're going to do is, this is not an image that is the right size yet. When you drag this window here, you're going to notice that it's going to stay the proper proportion. It's a 4:5 proportion. So even if you want it to be longer, in order for it to be longer, it also has to be wider. So you're kind of stuck with this proportion. So when you move this around, you can move it around from the inside. If you want to make it larger or smaller, you go to one of these boxes, whether it's the corners or the sides, and you can just start dragging it. So once you get it to be the size that you want, there's also a tool called the nudging tool. It's literally called nudging. If you look down at your keyboard, you're going to see some arrows. If I hit the right arrow, it nudges it little pixels at a time, to the right, to the left, and up and down. So if you want to make a slight adjustment, nudging is for you. So once you are happy with the way this looks, you're going to click on this green check, Commit Current Operation. So you're going to notice that the size of the picture might look really big, and then in this case it looks really small. If you want to change the view of this, like you want to zoom into it or zoom out, the zoom tool's up here. The shortcut is the letter Z, and you can use this bar to zoom in or zoom out. I find a nicer way to zoom in is to hold down the command button and hit the plus sign next to the 0. That zooms in. The minus sign zooms out. And if you hold down the command button and hit 0, it'll take you to fit on the, in the blotter on the screen here. Okay, so I'm going to do this one more time. Open. This time I'll open a different E. Or maybe, let's see what I got here. I'm going to find something that I can rotate. I'm going to change the view a bit so I can see these a little bigger. So open. Okay, so we're going to pretend that this is a letter C, just for the purposes of demonstration. I know it says it's marked N, but I want to rotate it. I want to show you how to do that. So if you wanted this to be the letter C, of course this needs to be rotated counterclockwise. To do any rotations, you can go to Image, Rotate, You can see here, here's your options. To the left would be counterclockwise, to the right is clockwise. You can also flip it 180 upside down. Flipping vertically and horizontally would be sort of like turning a page. Going to demonstrate. There's horizontal. So you could see that it flipped it so it's backwards, and you could see the writing is backwards on the page. So it literally flipped the entire picture. So I don't want to do that. Undo is down below. So if I wanted to rotate it though, I can rotate it 90 degrees to the left. So there's my C. I'm going to go back to the crop tool. It's already set. Once you do one, you come in later on, it should have it set. 4x5, 300 resolution. Get it to be the right size, move it around. Now for demonstration purposes, I want to show you something. What I just did is I moved it, I made that selection outside of the space around the photo. So what happens is it replaces that area with a background color. Now if you're confused why it's this yellow, it's because the background color at the bottom of my toolbar is yellow. So I can undo. Also Command Z will undo it as well. So what happened is I went ahead and I did something like this. See how it's outside here. So you want to avoid that from happening. Also, if you want to slightly rotate your image, this one looks fine, it looks straight on, but let's say it's a little crooked. If you go outside of your bounding box while you're on the crop tool, you're going to see the cursor is going to change to a sort of an arrowed right angle. And it'll allow you to drag outside here, so if you need to do some slight rotation. Some students like to just, crop it like this and then rotate it, and that's fine too. So once you get it the way that you like, you want it centered, you want it to look like the letter, you commit to it. Now, it's just a matter of saving these. You're going to go to File, Save As, the Organizer Elements, Organize Files, Adobe Photoshop Elements, just say OK to this. So one of two things you can do. You can call this, now that it's a letter that's done, we can change the name to Cropped C. Do it that way, so they show up in your list. Or if you want to make a new folder inside your Visual Alphabet folder and call this Cropped, then you can keep your photos in there. So it's up to you. I would at least rename them to Cropped. So again, I come over here, Save As. I'm going to put it in my cropped folder. Just like that. And JPEG's options pop up. You just want to say OK to that. Don't really have to think about that too much. So that is cropping your photos. So if you go back to the Finder down below, you go to your desktop, you find your graphic design folder. You will see your letters are here, but then the cropped folder will have the ones that are cropped. Okay, so good luck with that part, and I'll see you next time.